The sound of the garbage truck rumbled through the quiet suburban street, a familiar noise that most people barely noticed. But for little Emily, it was the highlight of her week. She would wake up early every Thursday, press her face against the window, and wait for Mr. James, the garbage man, to arrive. He always waved, always smiled, and sometimes, if she was outside, he'd give her a high five before driving off. Emily's mother often watched from the porch, amused by her daughter's fascination. "You act like he's Santa Claus," she joked one morning as Emily ran out barefoot, eager to greet Mr. James. "He's cooler than Santa," Emily declared. "Santa comes once a year. Mr. James comes every week." Mr. James chuckled as he lifted a heavy bag into the truck. "Well, I don't have flying reindeer, but I do my best." One Thursday, just a week before her birthday, Emily ran outside holding a small, handmade invitation. She beamed as she handed it to Mr. James. "It's my birthday next Friday. You have to come." Mr. James took the tiny card, surprised. "Your birthday? And you want me there?" "Of course. You're my friend," she said, bouncing on her toes. "There's gonna be cake, and balloons, and cupcakes." Mr. James hesitated. In all his years on the job, no one had ever invited him to a party. He looked at Emily's hopeful eyes, then at her mother, who smiled warmly. "We'd love to have you if you're free." He glanced at the truck. "Well, I usually work late, but I'll see what I can do." Emily clapped her hands. "Yay! Don't forget. Next Friday." The week passed quickly, and the day of the party arrived. Emily waited by the door, her heart pounding with excitement. Kids ran around the backyard, parents chatted, and music played, but her eyes kept darting to the street. The party started at noon. It was already past 1, then 2, then 3. Mr. James didn't come. Emily's excitement turned to disappointment. She kept checking the street, but no garbage truck appeared. Her mother noticed a shift in her mood. "Sweetheart, maybe he got busy with work." Emily nodded, forcing a smile. "Yeah, maybe." As the sun began to set, the guests left, and the decorations started coming down. Emily sat on the porch, poking at her leftover cake. A part of her wanted to cry, but she didn't. Mr. James was probably busy. Maybe he forgot. Maybe she wasn't that important after all. Just as she was about to go inside, a loud honk echoed through the street. Emily's head shot up. There it was, the big green garbage truck rolling toward her house. Her heart pounded as it stopped in front of the driveway. Mr. James jumped out, still in his work clothes, his boots covered in dust, but he was grinning. "Did I miss the party?" Emily squealed, running toward him. You came. "I wouldn't miss it for the world, kiddo," he said. "I brought you something." From behind the truck, he pulled out a large, neatly wrapped box. Emily's eyes widened. "For me? Open it." She tore into the wrapping paper, revealing a bright yellow helmet, a miniature safety vest, and a toy garbage truck that looked just like his. Emily gasped. "This is the best gift ever." Mr. James laughed. "Well, I figured if you're going to be my biggest fan, you should at least have the right gear." Emily threw her arms around him. "Thank you." Her mother watched from the porch, eyes glistening. She walked over. "That was incredibly kind of you, Mr. James." "It's just a little something," he said. Emily's got a big heart. Had to do something special. Just then, another sound filled the air, more honking. Emily turned and gasped as another garbage truck pulled up. Then another, and another. For massive trucks lined the street, their drivers climbing out, all holding wrapped gifts, balloons, and even a giant cake. Emily's mouth fell open. "What's happening?" Mr. James winked. "I told the guys about my little friend who invited me to her party. They wanted to be part of it too." Emily shrieked with joy as the garbage men joined the celebration, handing her presents, laughing, and even letting her sit in the driver's seat of a truck. Neighbors peeked out their windows, stunned by the parade of sanitation workers now filling the street. Some came outside, clapping and cheering. Others even joined in. Her mother wiped her eyes. This is unbelievable." Mr. James smiled. "Emily reminds us that kindness goes both ways. She sees us, really sees us. So we wanted to make sure she knew we see her too." Emily ran back and forth between the trucks, testing the buttons, honking the horns, and giggling uncontrollably. The party, which had seemed over just moments ago, was now the most exciting event the neighborhood had ever seen. But as the laughter echoed through the night, no one noticed the dark sedan parked at the end of the street. The man inside had been watching, a thoughtful look on his face. He picked up his phone and made a call. "You need to see this," he said. "This little girl, she's something special." The next morning, Emily woke up to a knock on the door. Her mother opened it, gasping as she stepped back. Standing there was a well-dressed man, flanked by 2 reporters with cameras. "Good morning," the man said, smiling. "I'm from the city's sanitation department. We saw what happened last night, and we'd like to make Emily an honorary member of our team." Emily peeked out from behind her mother. "Me?" "Yes, you," he said. "How would you like to ride in a garbage truck for a day?" Her eyes widened. "Are you serious?" He laughed. "Very serious. And that's not all. We want to start a new initiative, a community program where kids can learn about sanitation work and meet the people who keep their neighborhoods clean. And it's all because of you." Emily turned to her mother. "Can I, Mom? Please." Her mother, overwhelmed, nodded. "Of course, sweetheart." Mr. James appeared behind the reporters, grinning. "Told you, kiddo. You're special." Emily beamed. The garbage truck wasn't just a truck anymore. It was a symbol, a reminder that kindness, no matter how small, always finds its way back to you. Emily couldn't stop bouncing on her feet. The thought of riding in a real garbage truck, sitting next to Mr. James, honking the loud horn, it felt like a dream. The cameras flashed as the news crew captured her excitement. Her mother wiped away a tear, proud and overwhelmed by everything happening so fast. The well-dressed man from the sanitation department knelt down to Emily's height and handed her an official-looking badge. "This makes it official. You, young lady, are now an honorary member of our team." Emily's tiny hands clutched the badge as she beamed. "Does this mean I get to wear my safety vest and helmet?" Mr. James chuckled. "You bet, kiddo. And tomorrow morning, you're going to work with us." Emily squealed with joy. The reporters smiled, jotting down notes. They asked her questions about why she loved garbage trucks so much, why she invited Mr. James, and what she thought of everything happening. Emily answered with innocence and enthusiasm. "Because Mr. James is my friend, and he works so hard. People should say thank you more." The man from the sanitation department stood up, his expression turning serious as he faced the cameras. "This little girl has done something special. She's reminded us that kindness, no matter how small, is powerful. And because of that, we're launching the See the Heroes initiative, a program where children across the city can meet and learn about the workers who keep our streets clean." And it all started with Emily. The crowd that had gathered outside began clapping. Neighbors, who had only seen garbage trucks as noisy inconveniences, now looked at the workers with newfound respect. A few even walked up to shake hands with Mr. James and his team. Emily's mother had never felt prouder. But amidst the joy, something lingered in the air, something unspoken. That night, as Emily lay in bed clutching her badge, she stared at the ceiling, unable to sleep. Something about the whole day didn't feel real. It was the best day of her life, but there was something else, something she couldn't quite understand. A feeling, like something even bigger was about to happen. At exactly 4:27 a.m., a car pulled up outside Emily's house. The headlights switched off, and the figure inside remained still, watching the darkened home. A minute passed. Then another. Then, slowly, the figure reached for a phone and dialed number. "She's the one," the voice whispered. "She's exactly what we've been looking for." The next morning, Emily woke up before the sun, jumping out of bed and scrambling to put on her miniature safety vest. Her mother, groggy from all the excitement the day before, helped her adjust the straps and made sure her helmet fit snugly. Outside, the deep rumble of an approaching truck made Emily's heart race. She dashed out just in time to see Mr. James pull up, waving from the driver's seat. "You ready, partner?" he called out. Emily nodded eagerly. "I was born ready." Her mother kissed her forehead. "Be good, sweetheart. I'll be right here when you get back." Emily climbed into the truck, her tiny feet barely reaching the floor. The moment she buckled in, Mr. James honked the horn twice. The other sanitation workers in the convoy gave her a thumbs up as they began rolling through the neighborhood. Emily gasped as she saw the world from the front seat of a garbage truck for the first time. Everything looked different, bigger, brighter, more alive. As they made their first stop, Mr. James handed her a pair of gloves. "You want to help?" Emily's eyes sparkled. "Really? I can." "Just this once," he said with a grin. She hopped down with his help, grabbing a small bag from the curb and tossing it into the back of the truck with all her might. The moment it landed, the truck's compactor rumbled, swallowing the bag whole. Emily's mouth dropped open. That was awesome. The rest of the morning was filled with laughter and excitement. The workers cheered her on as she pressed buttons, honked horns, and even got to call out a stop on the radio. But just as the last street came into view, something strange happened. A sleek black car was parked on the corner, and inside, the same figure from the night before was watching. Mr. James noticed it too. His smile faded slightly, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he turned to Emily. "Hey, kiddo. You having fun?" "The best," she said, still oblivious to the car. "Good. Just stay close to me, okay?" Emily didn't question it. She was too busy being excited. But as the convoy reached the sanitation headquarters, the black car followed. By the time Emily hopped out of the truck, the man inside had already stepped out, adjusting his tie as he approached. "Mr. James," the man greeted. Mr. James stiffened. "Do I know you?" The man smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. "Not personally, but I know you. More importantly, I know her." He looked down at Emily, who clutched her badge a little tighter. Mr. James instinctively moved in front of her. "What do you want?" The man reached into his coat and pulled out a small, sleek card. "I represent an organization that's very interested in people like Emily. People who inspire. People who change the world in ways no one expects." Emily tilted her head. "What's organization mean?" Mr. James didn't let her take the card. "She's just a kid. What do you need from her?" The man smiled again, tucking the card back into his coat. "Nothing yet." Then, without another word, he turned and walked back to his car, the tires screeching as he drove off. Emily looked up at Mr. James, confused. "Who was that?" "No one you need to worry about," he said, forcing a smile. But deep down, he had a feeling that the real story, the real reason Emily's kindness had caused such a stir, was only just beginning. Emily looked up at Mr. James, confused by the sudden change in his expression. The joy that had filled the morning seemed to flicker, like a candle caught in a draft. She had never seen Mr. James look so serious before. His usual warm smile was gone, replaced by something she couldn't quite understand. Fear? Worry? It made her small hands clutch onto her safety vest a little tighter. She glanced at the spot where the mysterious man had stood, but he was gone now. The black car had disappeared down the street, leaving behind a feeling she didn't like. Heavy, unsettling. A feeling that something big was happening, something she wasn't supposed to know about yet. Mr. James took a deep breath and knelt in front of her, forcing another smile, but his eyes betrayed him. "Hey, kiddo, listen to me. If you ever see that man again or anyone like him, you tell your mom right away, okay? You don't talk to them, you don't go near them. Promise me." Emily's small face scrunched up. "But why?" "He said I was special." "You are special," Mr. James said firmly. "But not everyone who says that has good intentions." He looked around, scanning the area as if expecting the black car to reappear. He knew better than to ignore something like this. In all his years on the job, he had learned that when people like that showed up, they weren't just passing through. They were looking for something. Or someone. Emily frowned but nodded. "Okay, I promise." Mr. James let out a breath and ruffled her hair. "That's my girl." He glanced at his watch and forced some cheer back into his voice. "Come on, let's get you home before your mom thinks I kidnapped you." The ride back to Emily's house felt different. The excitement of the morning had dulled, replaced by an uneasy quiet. Emily sat in the truck, staring out the window, her mind replaying the moment when the strange man had looked at her like she was something important. Like she wasn't just a kid who loved garbage trucks, but something more. She didn't know why, but the way Mr. James had reacted made her believe that this wasn't just about her birthday party anymore. When they pulled up to her house, Emily's mom was already waiting on the porch, her arms crossed, watching the truck with a mix of amusement and exhaustion. "How was your big adventure?" she called out as Emily hopped down from the seat. Emily ran up to her, grinning. "It was the best day ever. I threw garbage into the truck and got to press the buttons and honk the horn." Her mom laughed, catching her in a hug. "Sounds like you had quite the morning, my little sanitation worker." She glanced up at Mr. James. "Thank you for making her dream come true." Mr. James smiled, but Emily noticed it didn't reach his eyes. "She's a special kid. You should be proud." Her mom's smile softened. "I am." She noticed the way Mr. James hesitated, his hands in his pockets, his eyes flickering toward the street like he was looking for something. "Everything okay?" Mr. James hesitated for a moment before shaking his head. "Yeah, just a long morning. I'll see you two around." Emily watched as he climbed back into the truck, but before he drove off, he gave her one last look. The same serious look he had given her earlier. Then, with the loud roar of the engine, he was gone. That night, Emily lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The day had been amazing, but something about it still felt strange. She turned the badge over in her hands, tracing the letters with her small fingers. Something was happening, something bigger than she understood. And deep down she knew this wasn't over. 3 days passed. Everything seemed normal again. Emily went to school, played with her friends, and told everyone about her adventure in the garbage truck. The news story about her birthday party had aired, and for a brief moment she had been famous. People in town recognized her, smiled at her, told her how wonderful it was that she had reminded everyone to appreciate the little things. Then the black car came back. Emily was outside, riding her bike up and down the driveway when she saw it, parked at the end of the street, just far enough away that it could have been a coincidence. But Emily knew better. Her stomach tightened, her small hands gripping the handlebars a little harder. The man was inside, watching. She dropped her bike and ran into the house. "Mom." Her mother looked up from the sink, startled by the panic in her daughter's voice. "Emily? What's wrong?" Emily ran to the window and peeked through the curtain. The car. The one from the other day. It's back. Her mother's face darkened as she moved to the window, following Emily's gaze. And sure enough, there it was. Black, sleek, and still. A chill ran down her spine. She had dismissed Mr. James's concern as nothing more than overprotectiveness. But now, looking at the car, she knew this wasn't normal. She grabbed her phone and dialed number. "Who are you calling?" Emily whispered. Her mother's voice was tight. "Mr. James." The phone rang twice before he answered. "I see it," he said immediately. Emily's mother exhaled sharply. "What is going on?" There was a long pause on the other end. Then, finally, Mr. James said, "Get Emily away from the window. Lock the doors. I'm on my way." Her mother hung up and turned to Emily, forcing a smile that didn't match the worry in her eyes. "Come on, sweetheart. Let's go to your room for a little while. Okay." Emily didn't argue. 10 minutes later, the familiar rumble of a garbage truck echoed through the street. Mr. James wasn't supposed to be on this route today, but here he was, pulling up in front of their house like a knight arriving for battle. Emily peeked through the curtains and saw him climb down, his usual friendly smile replaced by a look of quiet determination. The black car didn't move. Then, something happened that made Emily's breath catch in her throat. The passenger door of the black car opened. A different man stepped out. Not the one from the other day. This one was taller, dressed in a crisp black suit, and wearing dark sunglasses even though the sky was cloudy. He adjusted his tie, then turned his head ever so slightly toward the garbage truck. Mr. James didn't move. The man smirked. And then, as if deciding today wasn't the day, he turned back, climbed into the car, and drove away. Emily let out a shaky breath. Mr. James stood in the street, watching the car disappear. Then, finally, he turned toward the house, meeting Emily's eyes through the window. For the first time since she had met him, he looked truly worried. He came inside, sat down at the kitchen table with Emily's mother, and explained everything. "There's something about Emily," he said. "Something that got their attention. That man? He wasn't just some businessman. He's part of something bigger. Something I don't understand yet." Emily's mother shook her head. "But why her? She's just a kid." Mr. James exhaled. "Maybe it's what she did. Maybe it's how people responded to her story. But whatever it is, they've noticed her now. And they don't just notice people for no reason." A heavy silence filled the room. Emily looked up at Mr. James, her small voice barely above a whisper. "Are they bad people?" Mr. James met her eyes. "I don't know yet, but I do know one thing." "What?" He smiled, but it wasn't his usual warm smile. This one was different. More like the smile of a man who had just made a decision. They picked the wrong girl to mess with.